I'm Theo.
And I'm Juliette.
And this is Apologies Accepted.
We offer an entertaining look at some of the big issues in history by examining public apologies of the famous and infamous.
We're looking at politicians, serial killers, actors, and you.
Send us a public apology you would like to make, and we'll read it on the air and give you a chance to redeem yourself or just get some guilt off your shoulders.
We're here for you. Once a week, maybe more if you're really, really sorry. Hi, everybody.
This is Apologies Accepted,
the podcast.
And I'm not Theo today.
And I am not Juliette. I always say it in the same pitch. I'm not Juliette. I'm not Juliette.
You're not Juliette, and you'll never be me. I'm very sorry, but you're you, and that's A-okay.
B minus, okay.
So, what's shift making? How's your new year going?
2025 is delivering everything it promised, which is a shit show.
So, so true.
It's quite so true. Let me think. What else? So I hit the road tomorrow at some point.
Yay. Back to Texas. 10 hours to El Paso. And then I usually book like this really skeevy, kind of cheesy motel that... I'm not going to name the brand or whatever, but it's right off the freeway. Oh, no. Oh, no. I used to stay at a Red Roof in Bakersfield that was new, so it was okay. Is it even cheesier than Red Roof, or yours is not as good?
It would just say, like, worst Western is... I don't... Man. However, I always stay there, and here's why. It's in the parking lot, there's this mom and pop Chinese restaurant that's really good and super cheap. There's a lot of grocery stores around it. It's off of the freeway exit, and there's a lot of gas stations, just a lot of convenient stuff around, right? Yeah. And the motel is very cheap, right? Wow. So that piece is great too. So it's really nice to get off of the road. And even though somebody was murdered in the room last week, they have cleaned it with bleach. And so they take dogs. There's this little it's not really a courtyard, but whatever. It's easy to walk, Henry. So lovely. And and then I'll be getting back to real life. And it has been lovely avoiding the news, not watching the news at all. Been great. Reading a little bit of headlines on Google and a little bit of discourse on Blue Sky, which is now where I get all my news. Yep. And I'm going to say Blue Sky has scratched that old Twitter itch. Like, I don't even miss it now.
Good. That's good.
I'm with it.
I am devastated because TikTok is supposedly going away in a few days, and I do not know what I'm going to do without TikTok. I use it all the time. Well, I don't use it all the time, but I probably spend a good hour a day on TikTok. And I'm sure I'll be able to figure out what to do instead of TikTok. But that's how
easily.
I get my news now. So I don't want to use Instagram because it's meta. I certainly don't want to use Facebook. How do I get my news on TikTok?
Yeah. Do you just hashtag news or something?
No, I guess my algorithm has made it so that it knows that I'm interested in news, and it shows me people who are quote unquote reporters who are discussing the news every day. So that's how I get my news.
So it's not shirtless guys dancing around on your TikTok? I thought that's what TikTok was.
No. So I don't know what's going to happen after that. But did you have more bacon before I break into my bacon?
No. It's bacon nobody wants to eat. It's all.
I don't have any exciting bacon either, really. I was just going to say that you sent my husband and me an early birthday gift, well, for my husband and by extension me, of London guidebooks to encourage us to go to London this year, which I've been hoping to go in March because both our birthdays, his and mine, are in March, and I thought that would be a nice sort of birthday trip. But I think October is going to end up making more sense work-wise. So I maybe optimistically booked a hotel in Soho at your recommendation.
Congratulations.
So the hotel. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. My mother knows the hotel. I told her I was going to stay there, and she's like, oh, that's a lovely hotel. So maybe she stayed there. I don't know. But it sounds like a nice place. And so I booked a hotel. It's refundable. If for some reason we can't go, it's fine. My mother wants us to fly business class. to London and she's like, she'll help us pay for it. But I don't think she realizes how expensive business class is. It was like $5,000 a person. So I don't think I can even justify spending that kind of money.
Actually, I'm going to say, was that for round trip?
Yeah.
That's a good price.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And the drama with business class is that the seats do not go all the way down.
Oh, that's
right.
Fine.
They're going to punish you a little bit, but they do flatten a bit, right?
Don't care.
And is it worth $5,000 round trip now?
Yeah. I mean, a regular ticket is like $600. So is the difference between $600 and $5,000 worth it? To me, no.
Fuck.
I could sit in fucking cattle department, steerage for 10 hours, no problem, or 12 hours, or however long it's going to take to get there. So I'm fine with it. Brent would probably rather sit in business class, but if he wants to sit in business class, he can pay for it.
Well, I was going to say, you guys could you save your money, he spends his?
Yeah. I don't want to spend that kind of money. And then I don't have to talk to him in the flight. Of course, I'm kidding. I love my husband. So I also booked a trip to New York for April. So hopefully that'll be after the snow and the cold weather is over, or at least it won't be so cold and so snowy as it is probably right now. So I'll be staying in Union Square this time instead of Midtown so I can get more familiar with a different part of the city. I've been staying in Midtown every time I've been going just because it's close to the theater district and it's close to the museums that I like to go to and stuff. So I'd like to stay near Union Square this time. I have been there and stayed at the W Hotel Union Square previously, and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really get that much of a chance to explore the area as much as I would like. So that's my travel itinerary for the year so far.
Ooh, I mean, New York and London, that doesn't hurt.
No, it'd be great. And hopefully everything will work out and I'll be able to go and the weather will be right and everyone will be happy. Have you got any travel planned for the year?
No. Well, actually, yes. So I am going to go to Florida to visit a friend that I haven't seen since I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
And visit with her for a bit. So I'm way excited about that. And then I'll be end of January, early Feb. And then I am going to Big Bend with another friend.
Nice.
And it's called camping, except it's inside a house.
Oh, okay. Wait, how does that work?
Oh, yeah. Well, she calls it camping.
Okay.
But it's a house.
Okay.
So I guess it's because it's a house in the wilderness. I don't know. Okay. But it's a fully furnished house and they've got showers and air conditioning and heat.
So that camping.
A kitchen, and it's not. So I think it's just more that like, what we'll be doing during the daytime is those activities that if we lived in a tent, we would be doing, which is walking around in the wilderness.
That's cool.
Yeah. So whatever.
That sounds fun.
Should we call it glamping?
Yeah.
That's what I hear. I've never been. And so I don't know. I'll give you a full report when we get back end of February. And I'm excited to spend 4 days with my friend because I haven't seen her since pre-COVID. And that's a long time. That's like 5 years.
I can't believe it. My God. And now H5N1 is coming back and bird flu and all the other things. So
I don't even care. Don't even care. Fine.
I hope that we don't have another pandemic. But if we do, we've all done it before. So we're prepared this time.
We'll know what to do.
I've got leftover hand sanitizer.
We're still all in recovery from the PTSD around COVID, right?
Yeah.
And Trump didn't help anything.
No.
So the division within the country is only going to worsen. And if there's another pandemic, we will have people walking around with guns, shooting each other over parking spaces. And that happens
shooting
now.
People wearing masks.
Oh, that. Shooting people that are too tall. Yeah. You're too tall.
Great. Well, that's optimistic.
Looking forward to that. But, that's for the future people to worry about, not us.
Yeah.
Not us today.
A future us. So let's talk about our story this week on that happy note.
On a happy note, because it involves pregnancy.
Yeah, which is always a happy occasion. A teenage girl was recently I'll say forced, to publicly apologize for her pregnancy at a church called True Vine Apostolic Church in Hampton, Virginia. The incident, which was captured on video and shared widely online, has drawn sharp criticism and prompted broader discussions about shame and accountability within religious communities. The video, which was originally posted by journalist Jamel Hill, shows the visibly emotional girl standing before the congregation. She says, "I want to apologize to everybody in here because I am pregnant. I'm sorry, y'all. I just hope that y'all all forgive me." Then after her remarks, the congregation applauded, she requested prayers, and she left the podium. The pastor, Bishop Terry Jackson, then addressed the congregation, making his position clear. He said, "If you sin, you don't wait till the baby come to repent. We ain't going to condone your sin now. Ain't no baby showers going on. That's what you lose out on." Bishop Jackson emphasized the importance of repentance and stated that no member of the church should attend a baby shower for a child born out of wedlock. So not only was this girl shamed publicly, but she's also being punished, and her child won't receive many of the items he or she may need. Reactions to the video have been mixed, with many expressing support for the teenage girl and condemning the church's action. Television personality Sunny Hostin, who I've never heard of, have you?
No, but I'm imagining it's a local TV personality.
Probably. She offered her support, saying, "I will host the baby shower. Please contact me, sweetheart. Your baby will be celebrated and loved." However, a woman who identified herself as the girl's grandmother, Dee Miles, defended the church's approach. In a Facebook comment, we all love Facebook, Miles wrote, "We were not forced or manipulated to stand before the congregation. My daughter willingly approached the congregation and was welcomed and embraced with open arms." Miles also expressed frustration over the public backlash, stating, "You all are interrupting my peace and causing more damage than good." And that statement makes me furious. They were interrupting her peace. That's what matters here.
I want to drive over to her house and knock on the door. You think your peace has been interrupted, lady? Wow.
I'll interrupt your peace.
I've got some words for you.
Absolutely. The True Vine Apostolic Church's mission, according to its website, is to teach the gospel of Jesus Christ and bring new souls into the faith, which it probably is not doing with these shenanigans. Despite the church members seeming to be in agreement with the pastor's actions, Black Twitter was not as kind. Ex-user Nidalicious said, "Making a teen girl come up to the front of the church to apologize for being pregnant out of wedlock makes me want to burn every church down." Another user said,
"Well, how about just the one church where the guy's an asshole?" But Carrie, I wouldn't stop him.
Right. Yep. No comment. Another user said, "This is exactly why so many young folks have turned their back on the church in the first place." They said, "And people wonder why so many in the younger generations don't go to church. Who are they for her to be apologizing to?" wrote A Dose of Mio on X. Many critics who shared familiarity with the practice of punishing unwed women who get pregnant in Black conservative churches, which I did not realize was a thing, but apparently is, pointed to the inherent inequality of how the punishment is applied. Critics asked why the male who got her pregnant wasn't made to apologize before the congregation.
Yeah, where's he? Why doesn't the church go after him?
They also asked if everyone who sinned in the church had to confess publicly. So, yeah, one man was so upset by the teenager's apology that he went to the church to confront the pastor. "Y'all being shamed across the whole country, and your church going to be shut down soon. Just know that we'll be protesting y'all, boycotting y'all, getting that girl the help that she needs. Y'all want to get publicly shaming people? Now it's time for y'all to be publicly shamed," the man said, noting that he grew up in the church. "It's a shame. This church used to be Calvary Community Church, where they welcome people, and they didn't publicly shame people and chastise them for sin. All y'all sinless? None of y'all sin in this whole church? When y'all sin, everybody had to go to the front like that?" he asked. Yeah. So,
man,
go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say that poor girl. Jesus, I cannot even imagine what she is going through.
Seriously.
And had that been me, the card I would have played would have stood in front of everyone in the congregation, stood at the altar, held a Bible, and said, "Y'all, it's a miracle. God has blessed me with a child. I'm a virgin. This has happened once before. You believed it then. That's why we're all here. It's happening again." Yeah.
I don't know how old she is. I couldn't find any information on her age, and I don't know. It kind of makes a little bit of a difference whether she's 13 or 18, I think.
So on one hand, yes,
Yeah.
I had that same thought.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, not really. Clearly, she's a minor because they didn't mention her name in the article.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And her grandmother is speaking. So if I feel the girl was of age, her name would have been coughed up somewhere.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah. So I just think that if she's a 13-year-old girl, obviously she's been forced to do this. I don't think that she would have volunteered to do it. And if she were 18, the chances of her doing it intentionally might be bigger. But I don't know. I think she was pressured into it, if nothing else.
Oh, absolutely. She was pressured into it. Now, what do I know?
Right.
I know human nature.
Right.
I know everything. So, yeah, I'm sure she was pressured into it. And, eventually she'll leave that church. I mean, what kind of a life is her child going to have within that congregation if she decides she's going to stay?
God.
There'll always be I'm assuming the child is male. The child will always be the bastard child born out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no.
And imagine her having to live with her mother and her grandmother, who have both not only made her confess to this publicly, but are not supporting her at all in the aftermath. So it's just sad, and I support her.
I mean,
Of course.
just terrible. I did not look for the video because I knew it would only break my heart.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not whether this is a punishment / consequence that the girl herself believes and buys into, whether or not she was a willing participant. Watching somebody who's been brainwashed is not my idea of a fun time. And then if she wasn't, she was forced into it, all the angst and anxiety around that. Like, no, it's just.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it either.
Yeah. And in a way, and this is true, but it's also sad that it's true. I don't need to watch it because I already know.
Yeah.
It's vanilla or chocolate. It's one of two things, right? And it's just that conservative Christian theology that we're all going to get big taste of in the years to come. Yep. Yep.
Don't even want to think about it. It's terrible.
Oh, they are just getting started. Hi, Christian nationalist. We are watching you.
We hate you.
We're not fans of the agenda you're putting forward. Can't wait till they start after divorce. Start going after divorce.
Oh my God.
Please start there. Go with divorce.
Get divorced, but I think they should definitely not do that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I do know. And, oh man. Oh God. Oh.
They're already going after mixed marriages. I mean, of course, they're going after gay marriages. That's the first thing they're going to go after. But then mixed race marriages.
You get the low hanging fruit.
Terrible. It's horrifying, and I don't know what to do if there's even anything that can be done.
There is something that we can do, right? And it is resist.
Right. What does that mean, practically speaking?
Well, that means that when you start hearing stuff about, you were going to get rid of no-fault divorce, right? Mm-hmm. That we do call our senators and we do write letters and you do show up for protest, right? Yeah. Some of the Trump protests, which happened in Austin, I stayed away from. It was like, the shooting's going to be going on. I don't need the MAGA people screaming in my face. I'm not going to go march down the street because whatever the thing was, right?
Right.
Like there were so many of those things, I can't even remember them. And we follow the model of the civil rights and just simply peacefully show up and protest. And Theo, that means even if somebody is going to yell in your face, you show up because body count matters when a news camera is panning the street. 5 people, that's a bunch of Karens complaining.
Yeah.
500,000 people, someone's going to pay attention.
Yeah, I hear you. So I'll make note of that and attend my local protests. And
you'll have to start them.
I'll have to start them. Well, I think there'll be some here, whether I start them or not. But
for sure, you can count on it. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the apology.
Let's.
So this girl who we'll say was 15, just I guess, said, I want to apologize to everybody in here because I am pregnant. I'm sorry, y'all. I just hope that y'all all forgive me. So it goes without saying, even though we did say it earlier, we support this girl, and I'm not even going to analyze this apology. We're sorry she was shamed in front of a whole entire Christian church congregation. I'm going to give her a 10, and I'm going to give the church a negative 6,000.
10 and higher. And she should not have had to make the apology.
Absolutely.
So do I accept it? I support her. Shouldn't have had to make it. I'll accept it because sure, you Big 10, not your fault, honey. It's not your fault. You don't need to apologize.
There's really nothing to accept because she shouldn't have had to make the apology in the first place. It was forced, et cetera, et cetera. We accept your apology. This should not have to be accepted, and we hope you get the help you need.
Yeah,
you're gonna need help.
Not only the baby supplies, right?
Yeah.
But also the therapy you're going to need in the future because those people are fucking assholes and you're surrounded by them and that's not your fault. And I hope you find peace at some future point.
Amen.
Poor thing. Hey, fucking men.
Amen. So do you have a who's sorry now or apologies expected?
I do.
Yay.
I have a who's sorry now and it's Mother Nature. And yes, and it's the LA wildfires.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. My friend Chelsea lost her house in Altadena, and I can't even imagine. Everything gone. Everything. Yeah. And happily, she's safe and with her family. And, it's not just her, it's an entire neighborhood is gone.
Yeah.
All of the houses gone.
Sad.
And so she's like, we'll all figure it out. Like, you're so optimistic.
Wow.
I mean, they will all figure it out and things will get done. And I get her point, which is, there's going to be a lot of federal assistance right now in the next couple of days, 8 more days. Then fuck. God,
we're screwed after that.
Don't even know. So Mother Nature owes everybody a big apology for setting fire to LA.
Yeah, I agree. So I also have a who's sorry now, and it is Anita Bryant, and she's sorry because she's dead and in hell.
I forgot she died. I thought she was dead already.
I know. She's dead now. Hooray.
Well, she was punished in this life with a lesbian granddaughter. So
Oh, good.
Yes, I know, right? Her granddaughter came out as gay. And for our younger fans who may not be aware, Anita Bryant was a singer in the 1950s and pretty famous and kind of a pretty conventional, dark-haired
She was a
lady.
model, I think, and a singer. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to get her and Annette Funicello confused.
Yeah.
And so when I was a little kid, we lived in Florida for 5 years.
Yeah.
And,
oh my God, we just had an earthquake. Okay, it's over.
I thought you bipped your camera.
No, we had an earthquake. It's over.
Okay, nothing's happening here.
That's scary. That's scary because this is the 3rd earthquake we've had in like 2 days. So I'm worried. I'm worried that there's a big one coming. But anyway, go ahead. You were saying about Anita Bryant.
Oh, about Anita. Well, about growing up in Florida. So, which I'm going to visit my friend, Andrea.
Yay.
So when you grew up in Florida in the 70s and there were 3 TV channels and that was it, right? The TV channels during the daytime played reruns that they wanted people to watch. And so they played reruns from like the 30s and 40s because all of the old people were home and they were, I'm going to watch Betty Davis, right? Yeah. Old movie stars. So I grew up with that bullshit because that's what was available on TV. So I actually do know Abbott and Costello, right? And Anita Bryant and Annette Funicello, because the Mickey Mouse Club for the 1950s edition would play at 3 p.m. as if it was 1950.
Amazing.
Right? Crazy. And we just watched this bullshit, even though it was old fashioned even then, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what there was.
Nothing else to watch. Yeah.
There was nothing else to watch.
Nothing else.
Our lives brightened considerably when we got Pong. I don't know if you remember Pong.
I do remember Pong. It was
2
so exciting.
paddles. Yeah. Oh, you could make the paddle move on the TV. It could go up or down, and you could hit a little blip ball. Yeah. So Anita Bryant was famous in the 50s as a singer and became the spokesmodel for orange juice, just orange juice in general. Florida orange juice. It tastes great versus California orange juice, which tastes liberal and disgusting. So I heard the sirens in the background. I hope that wasn't earthquake related.
I don't know what's going on. Something's going on.
Well, that's way more exciting than my Anita Bryant story. Anyway, Anita Bryant also then became anti-gay, and the gay movement in the 70s, picking up, they followed the model of the civil rights marches. And so the gay rights marches started happening. And, some teachers came out as gay, and Anita Bryant wasn't happy that gay teachers could teach children.
Yeah.
So she spoke out about it. And one day on TV, local news channel, she's sitting down for an interview, and some gay guy walked into the studio carrying a pie and smashed the pie in Anita's face.
Right.
Oh my God. And I'm thinking Annette Funicello and is Anita, see, I still get them confused. So Anita Bryant had this pie smashed in her face by a gay rights activist. I wish he had been wearing an apron because that would have made it fantastic, but I don't think he was. I think he was in a suit and tie because there was a lot of in the gay rights movement fighting against stereotypes. So don't be too feminine. Today they would be in drag, but then
that would be awesome.
Probably suit and tie. And so famously, that is a moment on TV, and that's probably really what she's now best known for, is getting the pie smashed in her face and not her music from the 50s. And later she kind of disappeared. She still was very anti-gay, and then I read that her granddaughter had come out. So that's what I know about Anita Bryant and the Florida TV industry from the 70s.
And we wish Anita Bryant's granddaughter the very best.
I'm sure she's missing her grandmother, and who knows, maybe her grandmother came around near the end.
I don't think so.
Well, God bless us all.
God bless us all. And on that note, I think we'll end, and I'll go see if anything has fallen down in my house. Stay cool, cucumbers.
And don't trip on the Bible potato chips.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Apologies Accepted, the podcast.
You can find links to the articles and the sources in the show notes.
To submit an apology or find out more, visit us at apologiesaccepted.net, where you can also find our merchandise.
We're on Twitter at Apologies Accepted.
And on Instagram at apologies.accepted.
You can support our important work at Patreon.com/Apologies Accepted.
And fuck Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.